Hello everyone, it's Jackie with the first PLL recap of Season 6. Well, it's not really going to be much of a recap today. I'm kind of just going to talk about the major points and what I'm thinking. Because, I mean, come on, if you're here, you've seen the episode. You wouldn't be watching this video if you hadn't. I don't need to tell you what happened, you already know. So, we'll just get right into it. I'll say some things and tell you what I think, and then you guys can comment with your ideas, kind of like a discussion thing going on. Alright. I typed it on my other computer today, so instead of writing it out. Okay, well, I liked the episode, don't get me wrong. It was really creepy, and I'm very intrigued, and I'm excited to see where Season 6 goes, but I'm really disappointed in the fact that we didn't really get any answers in this episode. I mean, this is supposed to be the Summer of Answers, and so far it's just Summer of. Because, well, I know Marlene said we were going to find out who or what was in the barrel this episode, and, well, we definitely didn't. She said we were going to find out how long Charles has been playing the dollhouse. Well, we know he's been doing it for a while, but we already knew that, so, I mean, I already figured that it had been a long time. I didn't figure that he had just planned this. I knew it would take time to build this, but she said we were actually going to find out how long, and we really didn't. They said a bathroom was going to be revealed. Did that happen? I don't think it did. So it's all this stuff they said was going to happen, and it didn't happen. I mean, I still enjoyed it. I'm just kind of wondering, is Marlene once again making promises that she can't keep? Because she said by the end of the summer, you will know as much as I do. She's got 9 episodes left to tell us everything. And if they keep being like this, then we're not going to find anything out. This episode just added more questions, if you ask me. So, I mean, while it was good and I liked it, I'm nervous because I think Marlene is promising us answers and she may not deliver. And, I think she owes us a lot of explanation, and I'd like to get that. Okay, what really, really pissed me off is that they claim this girl is Sarah Harvey. I was going the whole episode thinking she's Bethany, and they said, what's your name? And I was thinking, say Bethany Young, and she goes, Sarah Harvey. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me right now. Because, well, first of all, we have seen Sarah's face. Marlene showed us a stock photo and said that was Sarah. If she knew that Sarah wasn't dead, which she should, since she claims she's had the endgame of the show in mind since end of Season 2, beginning of Season 3, why did she show us a stock photo? Because obviously she'd know, well, the person who we eventually will hire is not going to look like this. She could have done what she did with Bethany Young and not shown us a face. So, I mean, wouldn't it make sense for this girl to be Bethany? Because we don't know Bethany's face. We do know Sarah's, and this girl does not have Sarah's face. I mean, yeah, they kind of look alike, but they're not the same girl. It's obvious. So why'd she show us Sarah's face if she knew Sarah was going to be alive? And, why not show us Bethany's face? I, honest to God, think there's a reason we've seen Sarah's face, but not Bethany's. I feel like there has to be some kind of meaning towards that. So, I'm like, why wouldn't this girl be Bethany? That would make more sense. And, Sarah Harvey has no relevance to the plot, other than she went missing around the time Allie did. So why would Charles kidnap her? I mean, some people are saying, oh, maybe Charles got her to play the role of Bethany. Well, Sarah didn't even live in Rosewood or Bryn Mawr, where Bethany was from. She lived in some other place. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's a made-up place. So, why pick Sarah? Why not pick some blonde girl who lived in Rosewood or Bryn Mawr? Why pick Sarah? It doesn't make any sense. She has no relevance. She's not connected to this in any way, other than her disappearances around the same time. So, I don't know why Charles would pick her, specifically. It doesn't seem convenient why he snatched Sarah, of all people. And, Sarah seems to hesitate before she gives her name, which I think is kind of suspicious, almost like she's trying to think, okay, how do I get myself out of this? So, hypothetically, Sarah could actually be Bethany, And maybe she says her name is Sarah because, you know, either she's A, like I've always theorized, and she doesn't want them to find out the body isn't hers, or, you know, maybe she's not A at all and she doesn't want to be institutionalized again. So she decided, okay, I'll tell them my name's Sarah Harvey. But actually, that may not make sense, the second one, because if she's been trapped there this whole time, she probably wouldn't know who Sarah Harvey was. So scratch the second one. I don't think that makes sense. But anyway, and you know, Sarah is in this dark little room, but all the girls who have only been there for like a couple weeks have these really nice bedrooms that are exactly like their ones at home. Yet Sarah is in this dark little cell. Why? Why would Charles keep her in this little cell while the other girls get these really nice rooms? Especially if she's been kept there for years. Like, he's been keeping her in this little cell this whole time. Why didn't she get her own room? It's almost like she's trying too hard to look like a prisoner. You get what I'm saying? And Sarah was drawing a yellow sun on the wall. Bethany liked to draw. And yellow may or may not have been her favorite color. I mean, I say may or may not because yellow being her favorite color is written in the note. And I'm not sure if that note's reliable or not. That, you know, we saw the dealer at his house. That's probably, like, that could be, like, fake. So it may or may not be her favorite color. You know, and yes, she has the lines on the walls counting the days, but that doesn't prove anything, because, you know, she could have written them all in one day, hypothetically. Like, it doesn't mean she's been there that long. Like, she can fake it, you know, to make it look more convincing. Why didn't Sarah try to talk to the girls and tell them she was a prisoner, too? Like, yeah, sure, maybe she was scared, but, you know, she talked to the police when the police came. Why didn't she tell the girls, hey, he's keeping me here, too, my name is Sarah Harvey? Like, why didn't she try to escape at all? Like, I don't know. I think she would try to get out. Like, she seemed unhappy, or, like, ish. She, like, if she was being kept in this little dark cell by this Charles person, you'd think she'd want to get out. Yet she's not in any rush to talk to the girls or anything. But yet when the police asks her name, she doesn't really freak out or anything. I mean, she looks a little, like, deranged, but she doesn't, like... So I don't think it was a fear of people or anything. I'm just suspicious, like, why didn't she try to talk to them or try to escape or anything like that when she had the opportunity? I just think that's weird. And since she was giving the girls food, you can assume that Charles trusts her in some way. Because, you know, why wouldn't Charles do that himself? Why would he get her to do it? You know, he's giving her the opportunity to talk to other prisoners. Why would he do that? When he could just give the food himself. Why would he give one of his prisoners the opportunity to talk with another prisoner? Why? I said that already. Okay, so I do not believe this girl is Sarah Harvey. Like, for all the reasons I just listed. It doesn't make any sense to me. It would make so much more sense if she was Bethany Young. And, you know, so I think perhaps Sarah is really Bethany, who's going to fake having been kept prisoner. Kind of like to cover her ass a little bit, so they don't know she's really the mastermind. Because to me, this just doesn't make any sense. Like, this girl, I feel like there's gotta be more to the story than this. And maybe Sarah still is the dead girl, but since she got caught, Bethany is gonna decide she's gonna become Sarah, and hopefully get away with it. So I think it makes no sense for this girl to be Sarah. And I said this on Tumblr, and I immediately got a bunch of people telling me how wrong I was. They were like, oh, well, you know, Toby was played by a different actor in the pilot, and so was Mrs. D and Jason and blah, blah, blah. Guys, I think there's a difference between switching actors. Because, you know, in the TV industry, people have to switch actors all the time for, like, conflicts and things like that. A lot of pilots have a character played by a different actor. And that's just one of those things in TV you have to ignore. Because, you know, that's just how it works. Actors sometimes can't follow through. It's different when you get a stock photo. Because when you get a stock photo and say that's a character, you know that the person in the stock photo can't, like, play the character later down the line. It's different. You get what I'm saying? So, my thing is, if Marlene knew she was going to have to cast Sarah Harvey later down the line, why show us a face at all? Because, you know, she didn't have to. She got away with not showing us Bethany's face, but she chose to show us Sarah's. She didn't have to. So why'd she do it if she knew she was going to need an actress? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I hope you understand my logic there. I just think it doesn't make any sense. And I still think this girl could be Bethany, and she's just lying. Okay. Now, is Charles really Jason's twin, or is this just a fake out? Because there were a lot of little things in this episode that makes you think that Charles really is Jason's twin after all. Like the toys that said CD and the "it's a boy" thing. So, I mean, maybe it's real, or maybe this is what A wants them to think. You know, I feel like the big A reveal is still not coming until 6/10. So, if it really ends up being Jason's twin, none of us are going to be surprised. I kind of feel like this has become too obvious. And, you know, Marlene did say on Twitter that it was significant that the actors who played the boys in the video were not twins. She said, you know, everything on PLL is significant. So, I feel like those boys are still not twins. I feel like only one of them is related to the baby, and the other one isn't. And I just think, I still think they're probably not twins. But, no matter who Charles is, I am still, like, 99.9% sure that Charles is only Big A. And there will be an Uber A who is above Big A, and we will find out about that person after the time jump. Because, you know, the next season and a half of the show is not just going to be the girls hanging out after college, holding hands, singing Kumbaya. Like, there has to be another A after Charles. An Uber A who is maybe, like, using Big A. So, I feel like, you know, no matter what, whoever Charles is, there has to be someone higher up than Charles. Speaking of, I think there has to be at least 2 A's or A-team members. Because, just think about this. It doesn't make sense for there only be one person. There's Charles, like, you know, the masked person we saw, Charles. Let's call him Charles. And then, you know, the A that the girls saw in the dollhouse this episode. Now, those could be the same person, or they could be 2 different people. Let's just say they're one. Then there's the A who is watching the cameras. In my mind, that's probably Uber A, watching as their minions do their dirty work for them. Maybe it's Bethany, whoever. That's, I think, Uber A. Now, potentially, the voice on the loudspeaker, the female voice, that could potentially be a third person, or it could be the same person as Charles / the person in the dollhouse, or the person watching the cameras. So, that could be a separate A-team member or one of the above. And then, you know, Sarah / Bethany / whoever, she could be involved, and again, she could be one of the people above, or she could be someone else entirely. So, that is up to 5 A's currently, but there's at least 2. So, I think there's at least a Big A and an Uber A, potentially 3 more. Potentially. But those 3 could also be Big A or Uber A. So there's at least 2. So far, I'm thinking max 5. Possibly more, if that makes sense later. I did get really excited when Toby said that song, the Under the Apple Tree, whatever it's called, was something his mom used to play on the piano. But now I don't think that means anything, because it was probably chosen by Toby as part of their setup for the police, because, you know, Toby, Ezra, Caleb, and Allison working together to find the girls without the police's help. So, Toby probably picked that song. It's not relevant. A did not pick it. But then again, I think it's good that they're bringing up his mother again, because, you know, if we really are going to know everything Marlene knows by the end of the summer, that means we have to find out soon what happened to Toby's mother, which, you know, I would love to know, because I was very intrigued by that storyline, and I think that woman plays a very vital part. We know she was connected to Bethany Young, Mrs. D. Radley. Another thing about the Bethany Sarah thing. Bethany is so connected because we know she was at Radley. We know she was involved with the De Laurentises. We know that she was there that night in the yellow top. Like, so, again, it would make much more sense if it was Bethany. But anyway, going back to that, I'm sorry. I'm still kind of pissed off about that. Like, makes no sense for it to be Sarah. It doesn't. But anyway, so, hopefully we'll find out about that soon. I'm starting to think that Marlene is just full of it because she is promised to deliver a lot in the next 9 episodes. And there are many, many questions, some dating back to season 1, like, you know, what happened to Toby's mother? Who killed Mrs. D? Who killed Garrett? Who killed Ian? You know, how did Ian know that Allison was alive, if Allison really is the one who pushed him? What was the NAT Club's relevance, you know? All this stuff. And you're going to answer all this in 9 episodes plus more. And it's just, I'm skeptical. I don't know if she can actually answer all of these in 9 episodes and answer them well. So, alright, now, what did Charles do to the girls? We didn't see, but whatever it was very, very bad. Now, pretty much everyone has the same theory, so you've probably heard this before. You probably think it yourself, but I'm just going to tell you what I think. I think Charles made the girls pick from the other girls and decide who was going to receive a shock, pain, a punishment of some sort. He made them choose which of their friends was going to be hurt. Like a psychological torture to them. And, I was going to say something else and I forgot what it was. Oh, and the, like, diary journal thing that is supposedly Andrew's, but I don't believe it's Andrew, because Andrew being Charles was way too obvious right now. Probably A planted it. So that entry said they wanted to see the girls turn on each other, so that would make sense too. So I think that A tortured them by making them choose which of their friends was going to be hurt. And, like, messed with their minds and made them feel overwhelming guilt, obviously, because, you know, if you're causing pain to your friends, you're going to feel bad about that. And, you know, based on what we see in the promo, that just makes sense. Like, we see the girls sitting there on those machines, the wires, yeah. Okay. Spencer does say she feels like she knows Charles vaguely. She says, kind of like when you meet a pen pal, or someone who you knew a long time ago when you were a kid. So that means she has some kind of connection to this person. It would, but, like, if it's Jason's twin, I don't think she would ever have met Jason's twin. I feel like if Jason has a twin, then that twin must have been excommunicated from the family before the De Laurentises came back to Rosewood, which was when Jason was, what, like 12? 12. Because Spencer was 5. So he was, like, 12-ish, right? Yeah, something like that, whatever. So, Spencer would have never have met Charles if he was Jason's twin, like, in person. Maybe she would feel, like, a weird familial connection to him, but she never felt that way with Jason, so I don't know. But whoever this is, apparently, Spencer vaguely knows him or her. So it's not like someone she knows really well, but she does know them or feel some kind of connection towards them. Take with that what you will. I think you can eliminate Ezra, Toby, and Caleb as Charles suspects because they were all preoccupied finding the girls while Charles was in the dollhouse, so I think all of them are clean from being Big A. I mean, maybe you could still say they're Uber A, but they're definitely not Charles. I don't really think any of them are A at all, but I know a lot of people were saying Ezra for Charles. Some people were saying Toby. I don't think anyone was saying Caleb, but if you were, I think you can write him off too. I think Jason was probably preoccupied at this time, but I'm not sure. It could be Jason's twin, or, as much as I hate to say it, Andrew. but I'm not inclined to think either of those are true, because I feel like they've become way too obvious, and one has the obvious answer ever been right on the show. They like to make people look guilty and then have them not be guilty. And you know, it could be Ren, which a lot of people were saying. I threw Ren around a couple times just because he's so sketchy. Like I always say, the one thing about Ren that makes me say, well, maybe not, is because he's not on the show a lot. But, I'm saying maybe it could be Ren. Obviously he's available, and, you know, Spencer probably would feel a little weird around him, because she does know Ren. Like, she kind of, not dated Ren, but was romantically involved with Ren. So, another important development not a lot of people seem to be mentioning. It mentions in this episode that Radley has been closed due to an unexpected sale. So why? Who bought Radley? Did A buy Radley? Maybe if Charles was kept there, we know Bethany was there, they wanted to buy Radley because that was the place that they hated so much, and they, like, I don't know. Does that make sense? But, you know, so, who bought Radley? Why did they buy Radley? So, I think that's it. I did enjoy the episode, don't get me wrong. I'm just kind of annoyed that we didn't get any promised answers in this episode, and so I'm kind of wondering, you know, when is Marlene going to deliver? Is she going to deliver? I will say, I loved the Spoby scene in this episode. Their, like, running hug and their kiss, and Toby called Spencer babe. Oh, I died. So at least I have that. My Spoby shipping heart can hold on to that and never ever let go, and that makes me happy. Okay, so that's it, I think. I don't think I forgot anything. If I do, I'll probably make another video about it or put it in the comments or whatever. Tell me what you think. Do you actually buy this bull that this girl is Sarah Harvey? Do you think it's really Jason's twin? God, I hope not. I will throw something at my TV. Because I do not want to find out that I've wasted all this time theorizing on a show that clearly doesn't make sense, because it would make no sense for this girl to be Sarah. Why would Jason's twin do this to the girls? I would be really pissed off because I've spent so much time thinking about theories and trying to make this all work, and these things would just be illogical, and that would piss me off. So, tell me what you think. Hopefully next week's episode is just as riveting, but delivers more in the answers department. I did like the episode, just a little annoyed by that, and so that's it. Please like, favorite, comment, subscribe, all of the above, and I will see you soon. I'm going to post that requested video, and then I'll be back this time next week for next week's episode. Possibly have more videos in between then, if I think of something. Alright, thank you guys so much, love you all, mwah, and it's really great to be back.